Thank you so much for being here, Bear. How are you?
I'm good, Steph. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much. So yeah, I just wanted to have this call just to share with my audience how are things going for you since we worked together. I would love to know a little bit more about like where you were at. What do you feel when we started working together? What do you feel your problems were back then? What would you feel your challenges to grow your business really were?
Sure. So yeah, before I reach out to you and before we started working together, I had a lot of traffic, which is a great problem to have,
For
but I was
sure.
not really doing anything with it. Yeah, and I still have this traffic because my content generates a lot of it. But my biggest bottleneck was I didn't know how to turn all these eyeballs and all these interactions um, into leads, into calls, into points of contact. So I would just, generate a lot of views, have a lot of people engaging, and that was about it, right? But that was not really helping me grow.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you feel has changed for you since you started conversation with people, since you make a habit to start a conversation with people?
Right. So the biggest transformation was that I now understand how to talk to people, how to understand all these cues, right? That they give me to show interest. So, for example,
Mhm.
a really big thing that you taught me was that okay, if you have someone that showed interest in your profile, so visited your profile, someone that followed you, that means a lot. It means they are somewhere in the buying process, they are someone, and in the process of potentially becoming a customer. So from there was more like how I could get that attention and turn it into a call. So what changed the most was understanding how to elegantly open a conversation that
Yeah.
is not, like a face palm of buy my thing. It's more, generally seeing where people are at, what are their intentions, what were the reasons of showing up, of showing interest, right? And creating that like generally point of initiating a conversation.
Hmm.
And what changed? That's all this traffic is now turned into conversations that they always get a reply. So whenever I reach out to someone, that's a warm lead, they always get back to me. And out of five calls, sorry, out of five conversations now, I book around three calls from
Which
that.
that's amazing. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
really
that's
amazing.
really good. That was not happening before. I would have these people, I would start a conversation with them, they would tell me, yeah, I like your content, and I'll be like, thank you, and that was it, right? So it's not
Yeah.
going anywhere. But now it's really different. We get I understand what are the key questions to ask them, and then we get on a call where we talk more about their needs. But yeah, that happened through the frameworks you helped me with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Happy to hear that. Like you're doing great. Three calls out of five conversation. It's amazing. Yeah. Really great job. And
Thank you.
when it comes to, so when you are able to be consistent with outreach, have you experienced a change in the number of calls that you can schedule with prospects?
Yes, for sure. Like I would say that doubled, even because as I said, like now out of these five people I'm talking to, like three become a call, and in a very easy and smooth way. So definitely the numbers increased for me, and also I see this with consistency, right? It's also like your content helps you build that trust, but
Yeah.
it's also a numbers game. You need to put that effort as well. You cannot just wait for people to come to you. I mean, that's an ideal word, but let's be realistic. You also need to put in some efforts, and obviously the content makes everything easier because you build that trust and people show that interest. But it's really important to know what to do in the DMs, and to know how to talk to these people, to meet them exactly where they are. And that changed everything for me. Like, as I said, I'm booking way more calls. Like per week, I have 2, 3, 4 calls as well booked. And this is all from messaging.
Yeah. Okay, great to hear that. Yeah, at the end of the day, yes, your content, especially somebody like you that really does know how to create content that generates attention, but you really need to put the work in to, start a conversation that can potentially end in a sales call.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes. They go
Is
hand in
there,
hand.
yeah, is there anything else besides what you shared so far that you that since we've been working together has changed for you that you feel like it's worth mentioning?
So booking the calls was a big one. Because as I said, I was just like generating a lot of traffic, but I was not monetizing those views and this traffic. So that was really big.
Mm,
And also all the guidance on the sales scripts and on how to move from the inbox to the call. That was also really, really helpful. And I feel I'm the type of person that is not, it's not like maybe it's just like my personality. Like I'm not very good with following scripts, but what really helped was a framework, like
yeah.
understanding, okay, in this part you do this, in this part you do this. So understanding the steps that would take me from opening the conversation to closing it. And that was really, really helpful because it kept me on track because I can talk a lot.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're starting off with sales, if you're not very experienced, it really helps to have something to follow.
Yeah.
After a while, I believe everybody should like ditch their the scripts, but it's kind of like helpful to have a framework early on. Anyway, Bea, thank you so much for your time and really all the best for what's to come for your business.
My pleasure. Thank you for your help.
Thank you. Bye bye.